Good morning.
Hello, my name is Andy Bannister, and I'm the Big Norwegian of Big Norwegian Kombucha.
Awesome. Andy, so great to be here. First of all, tell me about this beautiful bar.
I certainly will. So, here at Big Norwegian, we pride ourselves in making delicious kombucha. However, we are not master woodworkers. So, my wonderful father-in-law, John Lehner, helped out and he built us this beautiful bar. And luckily, I married a wonderful artist. My wife, Marissa, was able to actually learn how to do a Norwegian folk art called rosemalling and apply it to our bar scheme. So part of our aesthetic is obviously goes back to Norway where my family came from, and Marissa is a trained artist, so she learned rosemalling because traditionally rosemalling was done by regular folks living in their homes, and you'd find it on rafters, you'd find it on dressers, you'd find it everywhere, pots, pans, plates, you name it. And basically what they're doing is they're putting very lively and bright designs and colors into the everyday life so that we can kind of beat the long winters of the Scandinavian countries. And in the back of the bar here you'll see our walk-in cooler, which was also, we built that here on site with my father-in-law John Lehner, my own father Dave Bannister, and Marissa and her father did a wonderful job decorating here with the colors and the additional rosemalling up here to help present our pricing and our product line. And in the middle you'll see our beautiful logo, which was done by Olivia Fisher, who's a brilliant graphic artist out of Syracuse. And over here you'll see our regular pricing, and then we also offer a Big Norwegian Adventure Club, which is our loyalty program basically. So it's a way to get the price down to pretty inexpensive weekly ability to drink our kombucha.
So Andy, tell me a little bit more about how you named your kombucha company.
Of course. So to start, we thought that Andy's kombucha was a little boring. So we thought about a nickname that my brother Jack had given me. He's my youngest brother. He's a Buffalo police officer. And he always called me the Big Norwegian now. I mean, you might be able to tell from the camera, but I've always been a little husky. And so was my grandmother. And my grandmother came here from Norway in 1913. She came here, by the grace of her uncle, who sponsored her and her family's trip here, as he was the captain at the Buffalo Lighthouse. So her first stop here in Buffalo was in the captain's quarters of the lighthouse, and then quickly her family retreated over to what's now Times Beach, and where a group of people called the Beachers lived years ago. And that's another thing you can look up at the library in the First World history. There was a group of people who essentially squatted right on Times Beach and built homes and shanties, and every couple decades a big storm would come and wash them out. And at last that happened, and my grandma made her way over to the First Ward, and my family was born.
So how did you know this family history? Was this passed down through your...
My grandmother lived until I was about 20, and she was one of the greatest people I've ever known. Just a wonderful matriarch of our family, and she was very good at storytelling and very good at remembering, thankfully, all the wonderful things that happened and some of the really terrible things, but it helped us to be the people we are.
And if you want to know more about your family history, don't forget all of the great resources available through the Grosvenor Room, where we have ancestry databases and websites that will help you find out more about your family back as many generations as you are willing to go.
Oolong tea. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to ferment it with a culture which has come to be known as a SCOBY, which is a SCOBY, which is an acronym for Symbiotic Colony of Bacteria and Yeast. So what happens is we brew a very strong steep of tea. We add sucrose, which is just table sugar, and we get a nice sweet tea going like you might find down south in the summertime. And then what we do is we pitch in our culture, the SCOBY, and what happens is magic, essentially. It's fermentation, which is something that a lot of us have gotten away from. But it is a process that we have carried with us as humans for centuries, millennia even. So the wonderful magic that happens in kombucha happens when we turn a sweet tea into a delicious elixir of healthy organic acids, probiotics, a couple of vitamins that are going to be helpful to help. One of the things about kombucha that really draws people in is the probiotic value, which are millions and millions and millions of healthy bacteria that are going to live inside you and help you complete your daily processes, from digestion to you name it, absorption of different nutrients and minerals. We find that one of the bigger draws of kombucha is the healthy organic acids that you get to drink when you have it. And they're not only in kombucha, they're in all fermented foods. So that is one of the biggest draws of drinking kombucha. And we also pride ourselves on making it very delicious. That's a big part of what we're doing here is we want people to easily put aside a soda or a diet soda or a fruit juice and choose this product because it is a food that will be good to you. Hi, so here we have what we call our brew house. And our brew house is used to essentially make tea and sweeten the tea. So we have two 100-gallon kettles. These are giant kettles for making a lot of tea. What we do is we start out, it's all electric. We heat the water up. We add our tea. We also add any of our sugar that's going to be incorporated so it can work itself into a nice simple sugar and distribute throughout. After we make our wonderful tea, we cool it down to right about our own body temperature, and then we pump it into our fermenters. So you've just seen our large fermenters that were over behind me before. These are a couple of our smaller fermenters. These are some of the first fermenters we started with our company. And these are 100-gallon fermenters. This one has green tea. This one has black tea kombucha. And essentially what's happening inside here right now is the fermentation process where we have yeast that are eating the sugar that we put in, and they're creating alcohol, and they're creating carbon dioxide, and they're creating a little bit of glucose. And then our wonderful bacteria, our big partners in this whole fermentation process, are going to come in and they're going to take all of that alcohol and convert it to healthy acid. They're also going to take that little bit of glucose and make that into a delicious sweet acid. And that's going to help us to keep from adding too much sugar after fermentation is finished so that you can enjoy the flavor. So lastly, we have our smallest fermenters. These are 30-gallon fermenters where we do our flavoring. This is also called secondary fermentation. Many of you at home who have made it are going to do your secondary fermentation in a bottle and leave it out on the counter. We don't do that because we're very, very mindful of not creating additional alcohols. We do produce a non-alcoholic kombucha. We do that through our brewing strategy and using the cold to slow and stop fermentation. The first step it takes after it's finished is we put it through a little filter just to filter out any large yeast strands so that we can make sure that we're keeping everything clean and running smoothly. And it's going to go into mostly kegs. So we keg most of our kombucha so that it can cold condition and get a little bit of extra carbonation so that everyone can enjoy the flavor a little bit better. Then from there we will put it into growlers for folks through our tap room. We also are just about on the verge of canning our kombucha, so we should be doing that next time we talk to you. And one of the biggest and best parts about what we've been doing lately is we've been filling a lot of bottles and we've been driving them right to people's houses. So this is a way to keep people from having to leave the house during this New York State pause moment again. And we want to support everyone's chance to have a healthy life. So we're trying to do our part by bringing the kombucha right to you.
Flavors do you recommend for me to try, Andy?
We offer a range of different flavors. We offer flavors that have very little additional flavoring, too mild, like say a ginger, which is just ginger and kombucha. And then we have some really powerhouse flavors like our mango cinnamon, which tastes like a mouthful of wonderful mango pulp, or our blueberry lemongrass, which is what we're going to have you try today.
All right, sounds great.
So as you can see, it comes out effervescent, and it's gonna have a mouthfeel similar to a beer.
Okay, let's give this a try. Delicious. That is the blueberry lemongrass. Really tasty. I'm surprised actually.
So I just want to let you all know as well that although we are in code orange, we are still having open hours on Saturday. We're just maintaining strict social distancing, and we're only allowing a maximum of 4 people in the store at a time. Don't let that thwart you if you order ahead on our website or even call me. However you like, we'll make sure that you get what you need. If you would like delivery, go to our website, which is www.bignorwegiankombucha.com. You can go right to our online shop, and it's quick and easy. It's a very painless process. So you can go through your regular purchasing of like 1 bottle or 2 bottles for right now, or if you find that you enjoy kombucha, we offer Buffalo's only home delivery subscription program for kombucha, which is a wonderful option for those who know you're going to drink kombucha every week. We'd be happy to be able to bring it to you every week. What we do is we have a recurring payment system, and you tell us what day works for you. We get it there, and you go out and pick up your kombucha like you would have with a milkman.
Here I am with Andy doing a home delivery. And easy as that. Andy leaves the bottles of fresh kombucha at your door, lets you know he's here, and takes the empties. Quick and easy. Good job, Andy. Andy, what's this big thing?
So this is a component of the boiler room that used to stand where we are right now. And what made this boiler room special was it was part of a company called FM Burt. FM Burt was a company that made cardboard boxes, and they made these boxes for shipping Larkin and Company's soap products, which, as we know, Larkin and Company grew exponentially large by being the first company to do a large-scale mail order program with their products. That can't happen without wonderful boxes for shipment. And one of the kind of special aspects of this company, FM Burt, is that the first CEO was a woman, and her name was Mary Cass. And this was remarkable for the early 20th century because there weren't a lot of avenues for women to move ahead in the business world. And here we see a wonderful example of what happens when you finally let women have the power they deserve.
All right, Andy, it has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me today. And I look forward to hearing more about what happens with your business in the future and future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy. Here we go. We're going to be bringing kombucha right out to your home.
Awesome. Drive safe.
Thank you. Have a great day.